All right. Hey guys, what's going on? Alex here with the BreatheHuman podcast. And I have a very special guest on my show this morning. And this here is Donna Schill. Donna and I, we connected over Facebook. And over the past 24 hours, she let me know she has a story. She has a message and she wants to go ahead and share it with people. She wants to broadcast it because she feels that this story can go ahead and help other people live their best lives. So naturally, I had to get in contact with her. I had to get her on the show, and I have to hear the story. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Donna. Donna, very much pleasure to welcome you. And so with that being said, let's kind of just get started right here. Like, how's quarantine going for you? Let's start there.
You know, it's actually kind of strange because I think if it was 2 years ago, I wouldn't have done very well. Mm-hmm. But quarantine's actually turned out to be quite a positive for me in personal growth, in the area of personal growth, because, you know, I'm alone. My son is here a lot. He has a partner family. He visits once a week. But it's been good and super emotional because I did the NPAA virtual competition, and that brought a lot of personal stuff to the surface, right, when you're promoting yourself, and then the stuff that I'm involved in right now. So it's been crazy, but really good.
Okay, very
and
good.
I've managed to
I love it.
Stay healthy.
So you're staying positive. You're making it happen because right now, quarantine, COVID, a lot of people are not having a good time, right? There's a lot of negativity. Yeah. There's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of mistrust going on. And with what you're going through or what you've been through, would you say the strengths that you've learned, that's what's really helping you stay positive and moving forward during these times?
Oh, absolutely. Seriously. If I didn't learn the skills I learned in the last couple of years, like leading up to this, I would not have done well at all. I would have, no, I've been, you know, if I wouldn't have kept active and kept the routine going and my son and a lot of people have reached out because they know my background. So I've kind of talked, and I don't want to say counseled, but you know, I've supported a few people that have said like, wow, this is crazy. And it's actually been really good for me because, well, you know, it could be opposite. I'm grateful because I am doing okay. And sometimes in my life I haven't. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that, I'm ready to blast off. And you said you have a message and a story to tell. And let's hear it wherever you want to begin. And where do you think those strengths started from those off times in our lives?
You know, so my childhood was it was awful. It was dark. So my dad and mom, you know, divorce and stuff like that. I lost my mom quite early. And I'm a silver lining person. So I'll say that a couple of times when I'm talking about my past, and maybe that's how I get through, but maybe this isn't even on track. But when my mom died when I was 15, I looked at it, it took me 20 years, but I looked at it as that was sort of a blessing, not because she died, but because of her life, because of what she put us through. And, you know, I was a skinny, tiny little teenage girl, fists up against boyfriends, and you know, there was a lot. So the blessing, but then right after she died, and I could say, I guess I was being a bit of an ass and rebelling and dating a guy a lot older than me, and I got pregnant. And I had Jake when I was 16, and I had to give him up because, I mean, let's face it, I was already living with my mother's mother, right? And I was I want to be careful, people see things, but I was in a not good relationship. So fast forward over the years, I fell into alcohol. I had Jake and I had to give him up, basically. And it was a Friday. I remember I went home from the hospital and I started drinking then, just shortly before 17, and I never stopped. So my life from there, I don't know if it was the loss of my mom, the boy, or what, but it became this process of desperately seeking. But it was I never knew what, you know, family. I would love to have family because it's so ironic because I've always craved so much in my heart to have this family, but I really never have. My son, yes, don't get me wrong. So drinking and some abusive relationships, physically abusive, where just wild, Alex, just wild going through life. So there's cycles. My mom's cycles fell onto me. I was with people who beat me up and toxic and talked awful to me and things like that. And slowly over the years, I kind of knocked off the toxic. So a couple beat the shit out of me, and then a couple were, fall down drunks. And so slowly it's like they would improve. It was, they're not beating me up, so it's better. They're not talking down to me, so it's better.
Right.
I didn't get punched in the face. So then like that. And I think about 2000 and, it was 2013 when I met Jake.
Mm-hmm.
For the first time. And I remember it was at Chili's, man, he always called it. We met at Chili's. And from there, Alex, it was a fucking nightmare. It was, oh my God. He hated me.
Okay.
He hated me because giving him up, right?
Yeah. So Jake is the young boy that you had given up when you were 16, which is your firstborn, from another gentleman a little bit older than us, right?
Yeah, he was 5 years older than me, and I met him when I was 14. Actually, kind of strange, but mom kind of encouraged. I think she didn't want to have to look after me, so somebody else would.
Right.
So Jake, yes, Jake was born in 1990, and it's so funny because I missed him every single day. I thought about. I can't say every single day because I mean, I might be lying, but I thought about him a lot over those years, and I put an ad on a site called adoption.com. And, we went through, and all of a sudden I got an email from a John Smith asking me for information about my son. And it ends up, it was Jake. So we met at Chili's, and it was so wild, like the wildest shit you've ever seen. He comes walking up to me with his biological father, and Alex, it was like my mother was walking towards me. He looked that much like her. And so it's like, wow. And so I got goosebumps. So I held him and bawled and wailed, and we really did try. I really did try, and I think he did too, but he was a heroin addict, alcoholic. And so we went through I'm tough, Alex, and I was not giving him money, and I was not letting him come to my house unless he was clean. He came to my house. You're going to detox first. So there was this always, why didn't you love me? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, abandonment, and I get it. Trust me, with my background, I totally get it. But I'm also a realist, and I said, listen, pal, you sit down, you listen to what I went through to get here and why I had to give you up. And he understood, but drugs, right? Drugs and addiction and the people around him, sadly, he had a hold on everybody. They would enable him and drink with him. And my oldest sister eventually got involved, and it was like this, it was the catastrophe. And anyways, it turns out that he had started using crystal meth, and I don't want to just the whole trip hospital, but he wanted to die. I still have the messages. And so he eventually, he overdosed. And, it kind of pisses me off. Just kind of pisses me off. Because there was calls, I got his phone after, and there was calls on his phone to an emergency line. And he told me I was supposed to go see him, and I told him he needed to rest, and he said, I'll rest real easy after I see you. And so, that's kind of scary. Hey, this is a person who's, it was ugly. And in his honor, I won't say a lot of the things that he said to me because I know he didn't mean it. But, so he went out and he bought some fentanyl, and it was laced with carfentanil and this new fandangled drug that people hand out to kill people, W18. And so that was February 2018, he died. And I was the last person to know because everyone said they were scared of me. Because I was telling everyone, like, back the fuck off, and he needs to know where to go. He needs to have nowhere to go. And the last time I saw him, he'd powered down a bottle of Listerine and had cut himself all up, and it was so shameful. But it's so funny, a silver lining. When he came to, because he was out the whole day, when he came to, I rubbed his. I'd never had a mom moment with him ever. So I rubbed his shoulder, and his skin was bare, and I went to pull away. Oh my God. And he said, please don't. And like, seriously, I got to be his mom for 5 seconds. And then somehow we managed to convince Alberta Health to get him into a dual diagnosis center. He didn't have any Alberta Health. He grew up in Montreal. Such like that. And I'm telling you, Alex, he told me all the years if he could get in dual diagnosis and if he could get a 90-day treatment, he would go, because it was mental health. It was, it wasn't just the drugs. And I'm fucking telling you, I got it for you, kid. And he said no. And I actually looked him in the eyes and I said, if you think you're more stubborn than I am, you got another thing coming. And that was like, I don't know, Thursday or Friday, and he was dead in like 2 days. And apparently he was screaming, why didn't my mother love me and all that stuff. So sad as shit, I know. But I got this. It was okay. I was okay. I'm good. I just moved to Calgary, just brand new, fresh start. My younger son just moved with his dad for the first time ever. I was 6 weeks at my new job, and this happened. So I went back, and I've always been everybody's person. That person that you phone when Donna can help, she'll get it. She'll understand. Brendan's friends, my younger son's friends, just yesterday, a friend asked, could I speak with her? And I help these people, because when you bring me something that a lot of people think is, I don't mean think, something that's really big to somebody, to me is like, dude, like, seriously, we can wipe this out right away, because it's so small to me.
Yeah.
I don't mean that. But to me, it's something that I dealt with when I was 4 or something along those lines. Like it's something to me that's just basically everyday life. For me, clawing your way and fighting for my life was every day until September 2018, when I finally was driving after Jake, and it was whatever, that 8 months or whatever. And I was pulling into the parking lot every day in tears. And, my only person was my son, Brendan. And, newly out of the closet gay, went to his dad's in Elkford and was shunned for being gay. And then Jake died. And so Brendan right away came home, and this poor kid, like, this is a 16-year-old at the time, and I'm doubled over, and there's tears, puddles, wailing, screaming, and he's saving me, he's helping me. But there was a couple times, like, I was living on pot, weed, cigarettes, and coffee, and I was sleeping only when I couldn't keep my eyes open anymore. And because I didn't want to wake up anymore. So I was like losing my mind, parking on the wrong side of the road, not giving Brendan lunch, no lunch money, like, I was out of my mind. So I went to work, and shit, ethics. Ever since then too, I can't take nothing that's just not right. Like, if it's just wrong. And, politics and corporates and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I actually got up and left work, and I went to the doctor, and he told me to go to the psych ward. And when Brendan was born, I spent some time there, because naturally, I mean, I have this baby, and what the hell do you do with a baby? So I actually ended up waiting a couple of days, like, I'm not doing this. This is so stupid. I can do this. I got this. I remember posts on Facebook. There's this one little meme when the girl is all in, like her whole body is casted and it just says, I got this. And I think that's me, right?
Yeah.
And I sat in the train station, like where you go to get on the C train twice, I remember. And I actually just thought, I can't do this. I can't get up tomorrow. And I'd been trying, I'd been going out walking. I'd been trying to go to Zumba with a friend, la, la, la. And so I decided that I better go to the hospital, like where the doctor told me to go. And I walked in and I didn't make it. I went to emergency and I believe my words were, if the pin even kind of looks like it's going to drop, I'm going to hang myself. And and that's not me, Alex. I mean, all the shit from a little kid to when Jake died, I'm good. I got this. So there's your straw, right? And I was having just horrendous thoughts. Thoughts like about my father and how, this is where it started, and then, like rage in my mind. So I was so lucky that I went in there and that I didn't go to the psych ward and that I did go to emergency and say those words, because honest to God, they saved me right there. Nobody left my side after that. I sat there and I told the lady my story from start to finish, basically broad brush. And I remember I just stared at the outlet on the wall, and here was my very first moment of, holy fuck, man. No wonder I'm here. I never heard it all out loud before. So like a little piece here and a little piece there, and this happened, and mom got remarried, and this sister did that, and this, like, it just little pieces and compartmentalized, I guess. And I remember just staring at the outlet and, like the pictures that you can get, and there's one spot that's focused and the rest kind of blurs out.
Yep.
It was like that. And so the psych nurse is sitting kind of at the table here. Her knees are basically by mine. And all I could see, I just sat there staring, and I just kept seeing her reach for another tissue. And I'm like, this woman is bawling, man. And it was over an hour. And honestly, with every new little incident that I said to her, that, okay, and then this, and then when I was 8, and then when I was 15, and I actually, like, my head exploded that day. My own, I just went, it's a fucking wonder I even made it to 1996, never mind now, right? So I don't know. I went to this treatment, and it was psychoeducation. And in that program, I had to come up with things that were mandatory every day, because I wasn't living anymore. I had infections all over my face from picking at it, and anxiety and crying. And
Right.
so 3 meals a day, you had to, for yourself and your kid.
Yep.
I had to exercise every day. And in our group, I went every day for 28 days. I stayed at home, but you had to go for walks. There was oranges. They had your meals. And I learned all these skills, like to recognize anxiety, the burning up your neck, what you can do with cold packs, oranges, what oranges can do to calm you down, and all these things, Alex. I sit and go, like, I could have used that therapy when I was 16, 17, 25, 30. And the thing that I think I started to recognize the most was when we started going for the walks, because I always kind of just walked by myself or did some Zumba, and it was intermittent. All my life I was active, but I mean, come on, when you're 200 pounds and drunk, you're not hitting it too hard. So the walks, we would go for walks as a group, like the whole group. And then I continued on that with that myself at home. And I started to, I mean, it had been months since I really had done anything steady. I'm eating good. I'm not drinking 75 coffees a day. Mandatory was go to bed at night. But the activity kind of stuck with me, and the food. And I started to really notice this Saturday and Sunday when I didn't go to the groups and stuff, it was just like normal. It was cigarettes and coffee and pining and worrying, and there's nowhere to go. So, you know, you get up and all that stuff. But I started to notice those days I didn't feel as well. And by Monday, it was like I was as depressed as I was the Monday before. But by Friday, I always started to feel better. So I started to recognize that. And I was super lucky because I had a really good friend at the time who dragged me to this boot camp. And I had a coach there. Her name is Alicia, and she's the most beautiful human ever. Recognized how broken I was. Like, I didn't have to really say anything. And she kind of taught me about nutrition and how much to eat. You know, I was eating like 800, 1,000, 1,500 calories a day and not doing anything. And she helped me with, you know, we did this challenge, a transformation challenge, and she really pushed me and she helped me, and I won. And I mean, the pictures, I was still a horrendous mess, but I just couldn't get enough. I couldn't get enough of, first of all, that a human being like 10 o'clock at night would make sure I'm okay, right? And leave a little book at the gym, good vibes only. And, you know, somebody cared, and somebody with food and with activity. And it wasn't somebody who was beating me up or abusing me or encouraging me to drink when it's been so long. And all the negative I'd always involved myself in. This is the first positive, really, group of people. And I fell in love with it. And from the time that I started that in 2018, I got hurt. So I kind of had to take away from it for a while, which hurt. But since then, I went on to the weight training, and I joined a competition so that I would have something out there to kind of work towards. And I watched myself change, and I watched my body change. But mostly I watched Brendan, and he changed with me, because the happier I got and the healthier I got, then he wanted to be that too. And he still now, he calls me a fucking legend. And I can't stop, Alex, because it saved my life. That first coach, that getting active, that fighting through that scared to go to the gym, scared that you're the elephant in the room all the time. It was a courage and strength building exercise for me. And amazingly enough, it's saved my mental health more than anything. I love abs, totally love it. But when I go and whether it's for a run, or I go walk on the ridge, or I go to the gym and I push as heavy a weight as I can push, it helped me to learn to focus on that one thing, and your head gets clear, and the dopamine and the endorphins and all that stuff. And it just gave me this mad passion to save someone else, to change someone else's life. Because Brendan, I told him about this yesterday, and I said, you know, I really do think fitness saved my life. And he said, no, Mom, I was there. And he says to me a lot, I'll never, ever let you stop. I'll never let you stop. So even him, just turned 18, moody, you know, he can be kind of an ass, but he gets it, right? He knows that certain things he needs to eat help him, and water helps him, and getting out on his board helps him. And so I watch him transform into this depressed, newly out of the closet gay kid who doesn't fit in anywhere, to being, you know, he's amazing. He's absolutely amazing. It's just so, I mean, I have to share, because I don't know, Alex, I don't know your whole story, but I know, you know, there's only a couple of options, and I don't believe that there's no fucking way on earth there's no way on earth that all of that was put on my plate. It's therapy. because somebody else needs it. It's there because there's no way that it's for nothing. You know, Brendan's dad used to say, and I'm not a religious person, I'm a spiritual person. I believe in a higher power. But his dad used to say, God only gives you as much as you can handle, and it's a test. And I met him when I was 23, so 1996, and like a drunken mess. And I told him, I said, I fucking passed. I passed by the time I was 5. I graduated when I was 5 years old. So, you know, that desperately seeking, I just love someone to want me, you know, somebody to someday have grandkids, family. But it really wasn't. It was just seeking, what in the fuck was this all for? What is it for? Why? And as I go and people reach out to me and they watch me, and some people I met like in grade 2 messaging, I realized it's not a shameful thing. It's something that can help other people.
It's a superpower if you know how to. It's a superpower if you know how to use it. Yeah.
Oh, I know how to use it.
All right, Donna, let's go ahead and take a pause for a moment. Real amazing share. Wow. You definitely weren't kidding. You definitely have been through the ringer. And let's catch the listeners up a little bit. So I found Donna on Facebook, and she has this photo on her Facebook. Do you mind if I go ahead and share the screen to show everybody what your Facebook is?
You go ahead.
So I see this. I'm like, okay, this is a woman, power pose. I'm going through and I'm like, okay, this looks like a woman I kind of want to go ahead and get connected with. And it was really just this picture. I could just sense the determination, the transformation. And that's why I ended up reaching out to you. So let's go ahead and share everybody or catch everybody up. So you have a past. Now what do you do? What do you do right now for people? Are you an online coach? You work with people, you help people achieve the same results that you were looking for that saved your life?
I'm trying. I'm starting out. I'm just starting out. So the online, I have a mentor and things like that. As it is right now, that is my goal, is not just nutrition and training. Anybody can get that anywhere. It's that whole, my passion is to help people with the relationship with the whole thing. Not just, you know, why do you go eat a half a pizza? Well, a lot more than a half a pizza. But like, get your shit together. And sometimes people, like, for me, I shouldn't say I never would have. I'm not sure I would have been able to see it through without someone going, you can do this, Donna. Like, seriously, just eat a little bit of this and put a little bit of that in your body. And you know, I do not compete, Alex, to do that challenge. I mean, it was like, I panic. I don't like competition. It's strange, I know, because I'm in a couple, but it just, I know I can push people. I have that where if you phone me and you say, hey, look, I can't, this just sucks, it blows, I can't do it. I can convince you that, yeah, you can. And not by selling you something or bullshit, by saying, you know what, I can relate. Because I can relate, Alex, to almost everything anyone's ever come to me with. I can somehow relate, because I really, really, truly believe I've seen it all. Mm-hmm. So, and let's face it, everything that people go through with their mental health, with their life, with their relationships, it's all about food and moving your ass. We get comfortable and we get depressed and we get scared to reach out and we think we're alone and we think that this is it, right? So, mm-hmm. I mean, I can help people on so many levels. So that's my whole goal. And that's why my online training thing is, it's awesome. I just, it's just so deep for me that I have to take a lot of time and think about what I'm going to share and how I'm going to share it, because people need to know that there's like love and ethics behind all that stuff. I could never take someone's money or help someone with something that they didn't really want because I convinced them that they need to, but I sure can support people through a lot of things without taking it on all by myself, right? I'm not here to take on your problems, but relatability and everybody has a story that they think nobody's ever going to understand, or they're ashamed to share why they're doing this, or why they drink 45 beers a day instead of, going to the gym, or why they don't cook, or I can't, or I don't want to. And just proof that yes, you can. Whatever has gone on in your life, a divorce, a loss, anything, yeah, you can, but you have to put in the work, right?
Right.
Like, I really believe mental health is physical and mental. It's nutrition. It's all that stuff. You can't be happy unless you have a package.
Absolutely.
Like,
And I completely agree with you. And let me share a little bit about my story so you know where we can connect, okay? So I'm actually a single child. I never met my real father. It was me and my mom until my stepdad came into the picture. I was actually suicidal at a very young age. When I was in 5th grade, I was ready to go. Stuck around. I've survived a few drunk driving accidents. I have survived more than a few brushes with death. Done my fair share of drugs. I've been homeless. And after going through all that, much like you, somehow I had this epiphany. I was like, if I couldn't take my own life, if life wasn't willing to take me in all those pitfalls and those pits of hell that I had, then I have some purpose. And that purpose for me was to actually help other people realize and discover their purpose, how to weaponize their strengths and employ them in their lives, and give them a fighting chance to move forward. Because there's a lot of people living a life of mediocrity and not really living the life that they were designed to live. They've accepted the status quo. They've accepted the labels that society has put on them, and they have given up. They haven't, or maybe they haven't given up. They haven't just known even how to start. I'm on webinars, I'm on coaching calls with a few other groups, and we have people in their 50s, 60s, 70s that are still trying to get it going because they refuse to quit, and they still know that there's more to life than monthly subscriptions and all this junk food that we seem to be a huge fan of. So I can relate to your story almost every T. I haven't done the hard stuff, but hey, when you're in that mental space, what's the difference between snorting meth and doing the next best thing, right?
Well, and you see, that's something that people don't get. You don't understand addiction, Donna. Listen, dude, booze just about took me out a couple times. So, yeah, like I didn't never have any drunk driving charges, but a couple of my friends who would probably be watching this would say to you that we should all be dead because of Donna's drunk driving.
I'm the same boat. I've survived 2 drunk driving accidents. I woke up about 3 a.m. where the truck that we were in, it was on my birthday, by the way. We went out to the middle of a field and we were mud bogging. We ended up rolling it 6 times. Funny enough, us two, the ones that were drunk when we were driving, we did just fine. It was the sober girl that kind of got in the wreck. But I come to, we're hanging sideways in the car, concussion, it's raining. We're like, wait, what's going on? So I get it. Like I'm with you on that one too.
So, and that's funny, ironic, because my mother died in an accident she was on a motorcycle with a guy who was drunk. And Alex, she never drank. She never did drugs. She never drank. None of the shit that came into our house. She didn't do any of that. Like, I saw her one time, she crawled in my bed. I was like 10. And she was wailing, bawling, this tiny little version of me. That's what she looked like, but about this big, crying because she felt so ashamed she was drunk. And that's actually what took her out. It was like, wow. But yeah, my friends, I could have killed us all a few times, but I sobered up I did not drink when I was pregnant. I did not. I drank right up until, and then after Brendan's grandma's a nurse, and I used to say to her, how long is alcohol in your system if you're trying to have a baby? Like, can I drink today? And
hey, at least you're asking. At least you're trying to get the particulars down.
I wanted to take care of the baby, right? But I still did need to have some booze. So when he was born, I fell right back into it. And then when he was 5 months old, I quit for 4.5 years. And then I met my second husband, who also was a heavy drinker, and I started again. And not cool. It's just not good for me. No. It's been September will be 9 years, and I used to always say I'll never drink again, but I actually now say I hope I never drink again, because when Jake passed, it was hard to not.
Yeah.
So you don't get too cocky too soon, because
I'm with you on that. Let's do a quick recap. Okay. So here you are. You've had a very interesting childhood, which I imagine we could probably spend the next 2, 3, 4 hours talking about and going into details. So we can say that for another time. But you've had this childhood, which laid down the foundation for your teen years, which didn't sound like it got too much better. We made some decisions, which at that point would then come back to affect us later in life in our 30s with Jake.
40s.
40s. Okay, so in the 40s when we come back with Jake. So the whole thing really started from childhood, all the way up until you went and then you discovered fitness, what it could do for you, which was in your 40s, I imagine.
It was 2018.
2018.
So I was 44 years old.
Okay. So you discovered this in 2018, and then it all comes clear. All past transgressions then come together.
I think my head finally got clear, right?
Right.
So something switched in along with some self-acceptance, Alex, some understanding PTSD, because I learned a lot of things that have happened like inside of here, like, wow, that's why. So self-acceptance, and it's how you're burning that energy. This up here has to go somewhere. So if you're under so much stress and so much pressure, I mean, I've always said laugh or cry, but you can only cry so much, man. It had to go somewhere, and focus, burning the energy, sweating. It makes you want to eat better. Eating better makes you feel better. So it kind of all just went together, and maybe it was my mother saying, okay, so remember how you said life's not that fair? This is what you're here for. Because look at what I've done, Alex. I should be dead. I shouldn't even be alive. So if I can do that for my own life, because it's the hardest to change yourself. I could tell you anything, just like Jake, shit or get off the pot, dude. I'm not the one who was putting needles in my arm, so I don't know how hard it was to stop.
Mm-hmm.
But if I can change my shit, I can certainly support the masses to help change theirs and get going. And I mean, I have that energy. I'm kind of a card. I'm a total idiot when I want to be. I get people laughing. I get people going. And I do have, I don't know, a friend that I talk to frequently said I'm infectious. My energy's infectious. So I give you that positive feel like, hey, come on, let's go, let's go, let's go. And you see, and I laugh, and like the picture you said, the determination, and it kind of rubs off. Yeah. So if you got that, if you have that, then you have to give it away.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Living in service of another. Now, let's talk mindset, because you don't just get out of something like that. And from personal experience, you don't just, it takes an insane amount of willpower. I don't think unless for the people listening, unless you've been and you can relate to the stories that we just shared, sheer willpower is one of the most important things that we've ever been gifted. That is probably the first thing that I was able to enact on. But mindset wise for you, what was it? Did you have to assume responsibility for your actions? Did you borrow somebody else's strength? Did you practice forgiveness, gratefulness? What?
Forgiveness.
Yeah.
Forgiveness. I made some phone calls, like seriously, they say you need to forgive, and forgiveness is for you. I made a couple of phone calls and I offered forgiveness for sure. Forgiveness, but you're not coming here. You're not welcome in my life. Yeah. Because that's a misconception with people, like with my dad. Well, if you forgive him, why isn't he coming for Christmas dinner? The fuck he's coming in here. My kid has never met him.
There's a big difference.
You're not taking my sleep anymore. You're not living up here. So my family, like my family is my son. I've got an uncle, a niece, a couple uncles, an aunt, and a niece. But my niece, I talked to a little bit. But really, Alex, it's just been me since I was 17. It's been me. So, God, forgiveness, gratitude, and I don't even know how to explain. It is sheer determination to not be what my mother was to my kid. Mm-hmm. So there was Jake, and I had to give Jake up. and after that, it was a real struggle. Brendan's dad we wanted to have a kid. And I went, how do you have a kid? And I'm 24 or something like that, 25 when we're talking about it. How do you have a child and say, oh, and someday I plan to meet Jake? How do you say, I didn't want you. I just waited and kept this one.
Yeah.
So my brain is just, so I had Brendan, and postpartum psychosis and all that shit started. And I think right from, he was probably 2. He was 2. It was 2004. I had cervical cancer, so I had to get a hysterectomy. I just sobered up middle of 2004, 2 or something like that. And seriously, it was sitting on the edge of the bed with him. And I started then, actually, to be perfectly honest, I started jogging, strollers, ellipticals, exercise bikes, cardio, right? While trying to raise him, and I would hold him and sing Mockingbird and cry and swear to God, if I could just live through it, if I didn't die from cancer, I would never, ever put him through shit that I went through. I would be a better person. I would do better. And from there, I mean, I'm still here. I kept my promise to Brendan. I never hit him. I never beat him. I never abandoned him. I never left him overnight. Oh my God, he was probably 15 before I left him till after 11. I swore to God that if I can live through everything that's happened, even Jake, when things happen, I always go, you know what? If that didn't kill me, this sure shit not going to.
Yeah.
But I, like I said before, you got to be grateful, and you can't take advantage of what you have, because I'll never drink again. That almost slipped away. And so it is determination. I'm so glad I'm alive. I'm so grateful that I have Brendan, that we're close, because when you have a depression like that, when the kids are born, sometimes there's not a bond. And so, like, I am his world, man. He took some videos of me today and played them in the car, and like, just insane. I'm his world. So I had to, Alex, gratitude, forgiveness, will. And I was not letting him down and seeing the shit that I saw. How embarrassing. Yeah, I wouldn't.
Okay, let's talk about that, because those are things that most of us don't even consider, right? Like love, gratitude, forgiveness. Like when you're down and you're in addictive behaviors and you're engaging in things that pull your energy down, that's not even like the first forefront of most of our thoughts. And I never thought that that's where my salvation lied either. So forgiving somebody else that did you harm. Let's dive into that, because I actually just did a post on that recently, on why you should forgive that person. And I firmly believe that when you forgive somebody that did harm to you, it releases you from that power or that act that it had on you. I don't know why. Scientifically, I don't even know if we can explain it. But let's talk about your forgiveness. When you had to forgive somebody that did you harm, obviously nobody ever wants to do that, because you did me harm. Why the hell should I forgive this person? But through those acts, what did you find? What did you experience?
So 2 big ones, and they're the 2 most abusive people in my life. My father and my middle sister, the one that was just a year older than me, is. These people haven't been in my life since, like, my mom died in 89. My dad was gone, and I haven't had, they're not in my life. So, but my sister would, my oldest sister, it's insane, Alex. I call us the dysfunctionals. It's not funny, but it is. So, okay. So anyways, however it came about, she would phone me every now and then. And my dad too. I met him twice since 1989. I've seen him twice since my mom's funeral. And I think forgiving for me, what it was like for me with both of them, is when I went to meet my dad for lunch the last time, when I pulled up, I was bawling and crying like a 4-year-old scared little kid. And I sat across from him eating lasagna. I'm Italian, so my mom made it. Just reminded me so much, right, of stuff. And I just sat across from him and I went, I don't think that I don't like you. Like, I don't like you at all. And I was scared. So I tried twice. And when I phoned him, I think it made me realize when I forgave him, what it gave me was I don't have to be scared of you anymore. Because I don't have to be scared to say no when you call. And I don't have to feel guilty if ever you need me and I'm not there. And I think when you don't forgive someone and you don't vocalize that, that relationship is kind of still there and in your head. If you don't say, okay, so what you did to me, I forgive you, but you're not welcome anymore. It takes away that, for me, it took away that line where it could have been a relationship. Like, should I reach out or shouldn't I? It just ended it. It's closure. Mm-hmm. You got to hear, and not rude, not Donna style, like, fuck yourself. It was, I forgive you. There's things you did that are not forgivable. That's not mine, man. And then my sister too, what it gave me was I didn't have to think about the things she did to me anymore, because when you don't forgive someone, you feel guilty for what they did to you a lot of times.
It's weird.
It's very weird. Like, you are a man and I'm two, and I'm supposed to feel guilty till I'm, how old would I have been at 40 in 2013? I have to feel shitty for that? No. It's a click. It's a thing in your head. And it to me, forgiveness is saying, I didn't do this. I'm okay. I understand why you did it. And with both of them, I do get it, because I had a shitty life too. So I understand where it all came from, but that doesn't make it right. So for me, the black and white, the wrong and right, the ethics, I got to say, this is not okay. And I don't have to open my front door for anything that's not okay.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And I don't lose sleep over my dad anymore. And honestly, there's some shit. So, even my mother, 20 years to forgive her.
So with forgiveness came empowerment, resolution, closure. And that allowed, that created the space. Oh, sleep's a big one. So, and that created the space for you to move forward. Now, let's talk about gratitude, because for me, what I learned is this. Everybody's always trying to get something. They're always seeking something, myself included. I'm sure we're all seeking something, right? Mm-hmm. Let's backpedal that up. Life itself, for me, what I've come to see and realize in my perceptions is life itself is the ultimate gift. Mm-hmm. Any experience we have as humans beyond that is a bonus. Fear, pain, love, sex, food, everything that we experience on a daily basis, to me, is a bonus. And I'm grateful for all these bonuses that come, because it allows me to feel. So I really believe the purpose of life is simply just to exist. That's the purpose of life, just to be here. And then to go forward from there. For you, how does that pertain to you? Do you resonate with that? Being grateful.
Yeah, I resonate with it. A lot of my gratitude, I'm thankful to be alive and to be existing, to be on the right side of the grass, just for general reasons. Like, I'm happy I'm here for my son, like any mom would be, and all those things. But I think gratitude for me is like this huge thing, because like, I'm glad I made it past 10 years old. I'm glad I'm not dead in a ditch. I'm grateful that I'm not doing the things that my sisters are doing with their lives, because of our history. One in particular, my middle sister. I'm glad. The thing that I think of the most often, besides Brendan, the most often thing that I think, man, I'm so lucky, is my bed. And I don't know where that came from or why, but when I lay down almost every night, I go, man, I'm lucky to have this bed. I'm just really, really lucky. I feel so lucky. And sometimes people go like, I don't know how you can feel like I'm here. I'm not like chronically depressed. I have times, I have 2 or 3 days a month where I just cry. I'm just, and you know what? Let's say June, July 2018, I'm really glad I'm not there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I guess it's just perspective. I resonate with gratitude. It's just, it blows my mind. It's just, I go back to, I'm not sure I should have survived. So
Yeah.
yay.
Yep. I'm with you on
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. And this is something that's been on my mind because my grandmother, she passed from dementia. I study neurodegenerative diseases. I've done some research. And then there's all kind of stem from not taking care of yourself in your younger years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like getting these neurodegenerative diseases, it's not normal. The body's not designed to do that in the end. It's what we
Right.
do in our 20s, 30s, and 40s that increases or decreases the possibility of this. When we're not taking care of ourselves, would you say that's selfish?
It absolutely is selfish, 100% selfish. If I can give you an example why I think that, when I got hurt, when I first started the gym, after Jake had passed and stuff, I'd go to boot camp and I got hurt. And for a couple of months, it was just, I can't go, and watch me slide, right? I couldn't even lift a jug of milk. I was, in my mind, I can't. I got a couple hernias. We all have shit that tells us we can't. And I believe that is selfish because I watched Brendan go, Mom, like you just starting to come out of it. And here, what are you doing? And all I heard was me at 10 years old to my mother going, what are you thinking, woman? And yeah, it's just, there's no options. I just believe that there's just not a lot of options. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So believing the bullshit or the lies that we tell ourselves, which are fabricated in our own mind or from past
Mm-hmm.
transgressions as a child, and not taking care of ourselves, it's selfish because it impacts the image that people see of us, right? And that's why I brought up the diseases because, you know, the recent studies, and I'm big on TED Talks, there's like a 50-50 chance that we're either going to have it or you're going to be taking care of somebody that does have it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when those times come, you have the entire life with that individual, but as they tend to decline, that image is now tarnished by what reality now is put in place.
Mm-hmm.
You watch somebody decay and basically begin to die while they're still alive. So yeah, that's not taking care of yourself, definitely selfish. So
it's 100% selfish. It's awful to do that to your family.
Yeah. So you beat being selfish, you've beat drugs, alcohol, depression, anxiety, suicide, basically everything that life could have thrown at you. You're damn near the Terminator, Sarah Connor to me. You now live in service to others, to help guide others, to work with others. And obviously, this is your passion, right? This is what you feel that your purpose is.
You know, it is. It totally is. I can't fathom sitting behind a desk. I've been in purchasing and procurement my whole life. I did the whole climbing the ladder so that I could make enough money so that I could raise Brendan and blah, blah, blah. He's 18 and I can't. I'm helping nobody. I'm not happy. I'm sitting on my ass all day working for, to make somebody else money, and I'm helping nobody. So sometimes I actually think, like, who do you think you are, Donna? You're going to help all these people, like that imposter syndrome. But yeah, it's there, and that it is my passion. It is my passion. And even the small amount, I say it's small, but the stuff that I've done for people, Brendan's friends, my friends, people who've reached out to me behind the scenes on Facebook, even new friends in 6 months that message me and go, you've been such a bright, shining spot in a lady I met just on Facebook. Her best friend died, and she's messaged and said, like, thank you. You're a beautiful star. And that, to me, I just feel so good because I know what it is to be way down there. And if you have that gift, that power, that infectious energy, then you got to use it. Got to use it for good, because you can use it for shit too, right? I mean, I have a mind. I'm a very deep thinker, and that naturally, right? Naturally I am. because I think when you go through things like I've gone through, you either end up over here where you're oblivious to how stupid and shitty and wrong it was, or you're like me when I was 2-3 years old going, I don't think this is okay. And I am not lying to you about ages. I remember going, wow, I told on my mom all the time to my grandma as a little tot. So right from there, the right and wrong, and seeing people hurt and not being able to do anything, I can help people. So that's what I'm going to do. It's going to change lives. It will, because like I said, there's got to be a reason. And that's it. It has to be.
I love it. So let's go ahead and wrap this up, Donna. So when the chips are down, when the pain is around and we don't know the direction to go, looking inwards, expressing gratitude, being grateful, practicing forgiveness for yourself, to others, because in the grand scheme of things, right, we're all human. We're playing the game people created hundreds of years ago, and we're all, even if you're in your 30s, 40s, we're still young. We're all still young. We're all still learning this game of this life, and it's a very confusing time. We're going to do things. People are going to do things. Don't take it personally. Live your life. Figure out what it is that we love to do and how you can serve others, and put energy into that, and living and being human, breathing human.
And do the right thing.
Do the right thing.
Do the right
integrity.
thing. Always do the right thing.
Yeah.
My heart, it's just, my conscience is as big as my gratitude. It's sad. It is, but yeah, you have to look inward, and you have to get off your ass when you don't want to go. You don't want to eat right. You don't want to do the right thing. That's when you need to the most.
Those are the breakthrough moments. Those are the breakthrough, breaking through the thresholds.
Sheer willpower. If you need willpower, I can give you a little bit of mine.
Perfect. Love it. Okay. So any final word, any final thoughts, anything you'd just like to share?
Well, I'd like to say thank you to you, and that you should be very proud. I would be very proud if I was you.
Thank you.
Sure.
I definitely am.
Yeah. Yeah, you should be. I'm just grateful. I'm happy. It's a scary time in the world right now. And I think that we all kind of have to band together and use the gifts that we do have to help people, because there's, like you said at the beginning of this, there's a lot of people who are not doing that well. So,
absolutely. All right. Well, everybody, thank you very much for your time. Hopefully we got something out of this, and don't forget to live your life. We only got one of them. And with that, guys, much love, many blessings, and best of luck during these times.